Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. Please stand if you're able and join us in I Am As God Created Me. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. Thank you, and I'd like to now introduce, we've got a special guest speaker, Ruth. And I've heard she's just a great storyteller. Yeah. And looking forward, if you want to come up.
Well, just very happy to be here with you. So many familiar faces, some new ones. So hopefully we'll have a little adventure together today as we explore our soul and our spirit. So let's just begin by going in, maybe taking a couple deep breaths, just getting ourselves from getting here to being here, right? Some breath to do that. And first, we just want to open our heart to how Spirit wants to move in us today. Just letting our heart expand with our breath. And then just feeling how our heart can connect to each person here. Just little threads that weave us together, and using our breath to do that. And then just becoming aware of those that circle our lives who need a little extra support or light right now. We just hold them in the light, using our breath to do that. And then we push our prayers even a little further to the world, to the light that's needed in so many cracks and crevices, using our breath to push that light into the world. And then using our breath to come all the way back just to our own heart center, bringing ourselves fully here, fully now, fully open. So may it be. Thank you.
And Julie is our host.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julie Myers, and I want to thank Ruth for that beautiful prayer. That was lovely. And welcome to the online streamers. We're welcome to have you here too. And welcome back to Laurel. It's so nice to see you again. Unity on the Lakeshore is a non-denominational spiritual community anchored in loving acceptance. If you're here with us for the first time, we welcome you wherever you are, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome here. At this time, I have asked, who did I ask to light the Christ candle? Gosh, geez, Laurel. I knew I asked someone. Thanks, Laurel. And as she does, please join me in speaking the statement on the screen. We light the Christ candle, remembering the Christ in us. And please join me in speaking our mission statement. You'll see it on the slide. We embrace all people and honor all paths to God. We create a sacred space to raise the awareness and consciousness of the one Spirit in us all. We anchor ourselves in affirmative prayer, forgiveness, generous sharing, and loving community in service to our spiritual awakening. And now our affirmation of faith. There is only one presence and one power, as me and as the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And now we'll have our congregational song.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
Thank you. Now for our daily word for October 13th is belong. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. A true sense of belonging is one of the best feelings in the world. It's knowing I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. Today, I celebrate my belonging as a divine being, a child of God. No matter my station in life, my personal history, or my particular circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. I extend this understanding to all others. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see my fellow divine beings. I honor their unique gifts, just as I would want them to honor mine. We belong together. We belong to one another. We all belong in the family of God. And from John 17, 20, 21, I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. And now we'll have music. Thank you. Oh, yes, it's going to be meditation by Ruth.
It is with music. Look, we have a hand pan drum. You have no idea how happy that makes me. It's been like on my Christmas list for 5 years. I really want. So can we hear how it sounds before we? Beautiful. So we're going to let the sound kind of take us a bit. And in the tradition in which I'm currently practicing, we always begin our meditations by connecting to the earth, her sacredness. Then we connect to spirit above, and then bring that into our own hearts. So that's what we'll try together today with the beautiful hand pan. So I'm going to let you lead us off, Jeff, if you would. So just some breaths as you listen to the sounds. So we let the breath take us down, let our feet go down like roots into the earth. Feel them grow into the sacredness beneath your feet. These roots reaching down to where everything is nourished, where everything is possible. These roots reaching down to the foundations that can hold us when winds begin to blow. Roots down to the generous nature of the earth, providing everything we need, everything to sustain our life. Now let a little of that sweet earth energy travel up those roots that you have down there. Let them travel up and into your body, following your legs, your torso. Bring that sweet earth energy right to your heart center. And let it tune your heart. And with your breath out, breathe your gratitude back to the earth. Send it down and into her for all she gives you. So allow yourself a few cycles of that breath, bringing in sweet earth energy to tune your heart and breathing out your gratitude. Good. Now in the same kind of way, imagine above your head this little beam of light that comes right down through the top of your head and settles into your heart center. And from above, we gather those gifts of inspiration, of intuition, of guidance. And just let that sweet light energy trickle down all the way to your heart, and let it tune your heart. And again, with your breath, let your breath out be gratitude up to the celestial ones for their gifts, for all that you experience in this lifetime. And then bring in a little more of that sweet celestial energy to your heart center. Allow yourself a few breaths of that. Good. So right in that center of your being, where that sweet earth energy and that light celestial energy are meeting, let it crack open your heart a bit, just a bit. Making space, expanding, as you find your balance between all things below and all things above, and your own life in between. Then with your heart open, just send gratitude everywhere for this amazing life. Let it ripple from your heart. And may our hearts stay open to all that we experience this day. Amen. Thank you so much.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yeah, there will be an answer, let it be. Just let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sounds of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you.
Yes. My earring is what? Oh, is it? Help me, help me. What's it doing?
Julie, can you help her?
Julie,
I don't know how to take an earring.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah. Should I just get rid of it?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll just throw it out.
there.
Oh, thank you, Julie. The story of my life. You try to dress up and it just doesn't work. Oh, I'm just so grateful to be here. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Julie, for creating a space for us. And it's lovely to be back, so thank you. I just love to hang out with people who are looking to grow, live out your values, expand whatever it is we're thinking about. So glad to be here. So for those of you who don't know me, just a little bit of information, a bit of history. I was an ordained minister in the Reformed Church in America. That's where I went to seminary. And at some point in a very slow and somewhat painful process, the church and I took leave of each other. And eventually I knew I just couldn't keep following that traditional theology, that trying to mold myself to be acceptable within those constraints. So I opened myself to other kinds of healing, to deeper things, more ancient things. I mean, things like yoga, meditation, things like Reiki energy, these things that were ancient, but in the context of a church might be a little suspect. So opening myself to those things and letting it change me and healing. So down those paths I went. And I do have to say that Unity Church here was such a gift to me during that time, because I always feel like kind of this is where I belong, teaching, sharing, but knowing for a long time that I wasn't sure how acceptable it would be. And you all just took me no matter what, all those years that I shared with you. So thank you for that. So back to my story. When a teacher appeared then, I was ready. I stepped onto this indigenous shamanic path that came from the Quero Indians in the high mountains of the Andes of Peru. So the Peruvian medicine path is what opened to me as I was searching. And that wisdom is based on, hopefully you got a little taste of it, the wisdom of the earth, the wisdom of the celestials, and our place between the two, and how to walk this path in the best and right ways that we could. So the wisdom comes from all around us, and that was such a relief to me in my studies, because as a minister, lots of times your inspiration is from up here, right? Whatever you think of as God or divine. And then to be able to find that my inspiration could come just as much from what was beneath my feet. That was such a gift to be able to have both. And that's part of what the shamanic or indigenous tradition does. It roots you up and down. Now, I'm not a shaman. That's a title reserved for indigenous people. But I am trained in shamanic traditions, and the tools and the worldview that comes with that are now the things that guide me absolutely every day on my path. So that's just a bit about me, so you know. And the reason today we're going to be talking about when compassion leads the heart. Compassion leads the heart. I've been thinking a lot about compassion because my current studies have taken me into something called internal family systems, which is a psychological term out of Jungian belief that we all have within us a kind of complicated system of being wounded, being challenged, right? We create this internal family. And it's been so healing to me to break open some of those things. But one of the components of internal family systems is this idea that we are each called to be our best-centered self, with a capital S, self. Not a diminished self, but our best self. And in order to do that, they say there are 8 C words that can guide our best-centered self. And one of them is compassion, which I'll talk about. But the others are creativity. So if you imagine your best-centered self kind of accessing each of these 8, when you're in balance, they should all be in balance, but usually one of them's out of balance. So we have compassion, we have creativity, calmness, connectivity, clarity, confidence, courage, and curiosity. Aren't those great? So sometimes when you're feeling a challenge, you check in with those 8 and see which one of them's out of balance. Like, I'm just not calm, I'm not there. And then you know, oh, that's what I need to work on to get back into my best-centered self. So today we're going to talk about the compassion one. And as we do that, I want to also share with you from the shamanic tradition how there are really 3 energy centers in our body that we need to also balance. And this comes actually from shamans around the world, not just the ones in Peru. This idea that we have to balance our head, all of our thinking, all of the things we learn, which we're really good at because we're in North America and we value that a lot. So we have to balance our head with our heart, our feelings. And that has to be balanced with our actions. And when any one of those takes over also, it can pull us out of balance. So keeping those 3 centers moving in balance. So today, as we think about compassion, we're going to start with our head, because that's probably where we're most comfortable, learning a little about compassion, about what it means. And then we're going to move it to the heart. I'm going to tell you a story about some issues in my own struggles with compassion, and then we'll move it into the doing. All right? With me? Here we go. All right. So the word compassion. The Latin word for compassion comes from the word compate. Pate means to suffer, and com means to come alongside. To suffer and to come alongside. So it's not necessarily our suffering, though it can be, but we come alongside to accompany in a compassionate way. Different than empathy, where sometimes somebody else's pain becomes yours. Compassion lets you be next to it. So pate, compassion, compate. And this word also helps us understand that it's a bit of a journey, coming alongside and going somewhere. It's not a quick fix. Now, here's another interesting fact about the word. If you were to take the scriptures and try to look up words for compassion, what you would find translated are words for love. They translated into the English as love. But if you go back to the Hebrew root, the root is raham or rahamin. And that's this beautiful Hebrew word. So if you were reading the scripture in Hebrew, you would keep bumping into this word raham or rahamin. And we, in the translations, again, we translate it as love, but really it's a word for compassion, raham. So the root of that word in Hebrew is reshem. And reshem is actually womb. So track with me on this now. Reshem is the womb of everything beginning. The very, that great stuff of creation where the spirits moved upon the waters and something became. It is this divine source from which we all come. So Rashem, Rahamin, means that from this very womb of creation is where we find compassion, as though creation itself was created that way, to be compassionate, to remind us that from the very beginnings of life, all things were sacred. All things are connected. That's this womb, Rahamin understanding. So compassion brings us not only alongside, but helps us tap into this deep divine source of the fact that we're never alone, we are never abandoned, we are always connected to that deep sacredness. Compassion. You're with me, right? Got it? All right, here we go. The next step. So our brains are a little full with, whoa, that's a lot about root words. So now we bring it down to our heart. And the heart is where I want to use a quote by Ram Dass. He says this: I would like my life to be a statement of love and compassion. And where it isn't, that's where my work lies. One more time. I would like my life to be a statement of love and compassion. And where it isn't, that's where my work lies. So I want to tell you a story. It's a story about one of my lessons of compassion. And it happened actually a long time ago. It's like 30 years ago, but I still just love the story so much. And in indigenous traditions, storytelling is like vital. That's how you learn your lessons. So go with me on my little story and we'll see what we can learn. So back in the 1980s, I was working as a pastor in a church, and I was also responsible for the youth ministry of the church, which I loved. And there was a whole group of us in Holland, where I lived at the time, who were all youth directors or ministers, and we would all get together to support each other. Great idea, right? We're not in this alone. And one of our philosophies was that we were never going to ask young people to do or go somewhere that we're not willing to do or go. And that would be true physically, emotionally, whatever. You don't just put kids into situations and then process it. You've got to know in your own heart what that is. So this group of us would go on backpacking trips together. We would share other resources. We would talk about how we would need to experience things to bring it back to the youth we were working with. So it was a wonderful thing. So we decided to try doing a high ropes course together, this group of people who were in youth ministry. Now, how many of you have ever done a high ropes course? Yeah, a few of you. Woo! Isn't it awesome? It's so awesome. If you like high ropes, it's really awesome. So it was something we really wanted to take our kids to do, right? So we are all out there to experience together. So here's how it's set up: is it's in the forest, and there are trees, and way up, I don't know how high, 30 feet up? I don't know, long way up, they would set up these trails between the trees with ropes, different platforms, ropes. So you climb up this one beginning tree. There's a big platform there, and the ropes go off different directions, and you can choose which challenge you want. And the challenges varied a lot from, just trying to hang on to other kinds of ways of going up there. So this group of us, there was about 10 of us. First thing you got to do is climb the tree to get to and they had a ladder, so I didn't think it was difficult. But up the ladder to the platform. For some people, climbing the ladder was the challenge. Just getting up there, right? Because I don't have a fear of heights, so it was like, woo, away I go. So I'm up there, and once you get up there, you have a harness on. So if you fall, your rope is connected to the ropes above, and you're not going to fall very far. But you'll fall at some point. It's pretty inevitable. So you get up there and you hook in, and then you choose your route. So the group up there is having an experience, but down on the ground, there are the facilitators. And they're watching what you're doing and talking to you. Because this isn't just about climbing a rope. This is about how you're meeting the world. Okay? So we're up there, little Ruth, who's pretty carefree, taking off down, this route, that route. I just loved it. And then the person down below starts to give me some ideas. This time, how about if you don't hold on to the guide ropes and just use your balance to get across? So that's what I did. It was great. And then the next time he would say, how about you try it backwards? Yeah. So this was pretty far into the process. I had already gone through several things. And so I'm like, sure, I'll try it backwards, because you have nothing. There's nothing except you're going to fall a little ways, right? So I'm trying this one thing backwards. It's a big step. And I fell. And it's just not a big deal. You just pull yourself back up, try it again. The third time I fell, my person down below says, why don't you just hang there for a minute? We'll send someone to help you. I'm like, I don't need any help. Is that right? No, I don't need any help. I can get back up. Well, we want you to hang there anyway. Okay, so I'm hanging there because, that's part of the experience. And then after a little while, he says, we're going to send Sherry over to help you get back on the rope course. Okay, so I didn't say any of this, but here's what I thought. Sherry? No, not her. She's the one who could barely make it up the tree. She's the one who's still way back there. Not Sherry. She'll never get here. Because she was petrified. I didn't say any of that. Instead, I said, Tom's right over here. Could he help me? No, we're going to wait for Sherry. I'm like, that's just doesn't seem right. So I hang there for a while, and pretty soon, everybody's they clip around me, and I'm just dangling there, and I keep trying to negotiate, right? Because I'm good at that. Can't this person help me? Can't we try this? How about if I just get back up, and then we'll do this closer to Sherry or whatever? Nothing was working. Just hang there, Ruth. Okay. So then I pulled out my, what I thought was probably the best argument I had, which is our consumer attitude toward things. I'm paying for this experience, and I'm just hanging here. Well, get up if you want, if you think that's what's best. I just want to experience the course. You're getting a little angry. Do you want to just sit with that? Oh, darn it. So I'm hanging there with my anger, just because I know getting back up and just keeping going is not going to help me. So there I am hanging there. And gradually I realize that the only thing I can do is start to look at Sherry, who's over there still a long ways away, barely moving. And her little coach is doing great, coaching her along. So I take a deep breath and I say, because you can talk to each other up there, right? You're doing a lot of that. I said, Sherry, I need you. Now, for me to say that was huge. And I don't say it because I'm like proud about that. But here's the thing about compassion. Here's the thing about where Spirit works. Here's the thing where I want to be love and compassion, and where I'm not, that's where my work lies. Because I am fiercely independent. And I carry that into my spiritual life. I am so competent in some things, and where I'm not, that's where my work lies. And who wants to go into that vulnerable, messy place of not being strong, of not being everything you can be, of not winning? So I say to Sherry, I need you. And that just causes Sherry to cry again. She said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, okay, that's not it. I don't need her to be sorry, right? It's fine. And then I realize that in order for me to get Sherry to me, I have to start encouraging her. And the only way I can do that is to understand the fear she holds. And so I get in touch with the fact that I'm not afraid to climb a tree, run a ropes course. I am scared to death of being this vulnerable, hanging here for an hour in a harness, having to wait for someone else. So I let that be what I start to extend to Sherry, who, by the way, I really did like. Just this sense of, I understand this is scary. I'm scared too. And then I start to encourage her. She'd be stuck, and I'd say, you could try this. You could try that. Or I would just say, I'm so proud of you. You just took 5 steps closer to me. And this went on longer than one thinks it should. As you're hanging in a harness that becomes more uncomfortable the longer you hang. Eventually, Sherry reaches me, pulls me up, and by that time, it's time to exit the course. So we head to the end together, and down the tree we go. You heard it, right? Where our work lies is those places where we feel vulnerable, where we feel there might be some space for something else to grow. And when that grows, we find compassion in a whole different way. Not just being the one in charge of something, but the one who comes alongside in a way that changes us both. That's the heart lesson. So we move from our head to our heart, and finally to our action, where our passions get ignited. So I want to end with some thoughts from a writer. His name's Alfred Lamott. He is a poet, a theologian. I just love the way he thinks. He writes essays. And I couldn't find any better language in myself or in others that I thought captured this sense of doing. Because he's also addressing how sometimes we rush into doing and we bypass our hearts because doing makes us feel better, which is good. I'm not saying that's bad, but to always have these 3 things balanced is what we're aiming for. So here's what Alfred Lamott says. And it's a bit of a long quote, but I know you'll hang there with me. He says, "What is an activist?" Coming out of here. You can be an activist planting winter squash. You can be an activist walking in a fern forest. You can be an activist listening to your children. You can be an activist smiling from your heart at someone who's lonely. True activism means to gently immerse our whole astonished body in the river of presence. I'm going to read that one more time because I love that. True activism means to gently immerse our whole astonished body in the river of presence, to be moved by the breath of a golden leaf falling right where you are, to drown in the mystery of communion with whoever stands before you and serve them by being. Out of being, doing arises, and this is love. So here is your tribe: a disheveled crow, a boy in the rain with a shining basketball, a spider web catching the moon, a crone at the grocery store marveling at all the soup. This is your tribe. This is your native country. It is all a sacred homeland. The earth is not transfigured by how much you do, but by how wantonly, how nakedly you plunge into this perishing moment. Yeah, so my friends, plunge in. See where that heart takes you. See where compassion will lead you. This is a perishing and precious moment. And we know too, right, that the world needs us to be this best-centered self. The world needs the right kind of compassion for us, from us. So here's our hope: that we can come alongside these passions, that we can explore where it is we're stumbling, that we can heal and try things differently, and that we can see who it is with us that takes us on this compassionate action into the world. So may it be for your journey, my journey, and our journey together. Thank you.
Wow. I have to follow that. That was powerful. Thank you, Ruth. I definitely see why you're here to share with us. Now we're going to move in to our ways that we can give. There are a few ways. The ushers are passing a basket. Feel free to give that way. We also have a new option to give through Venmo. You can simply scan the QR code or use our name, Unity Lakeshore. If you're already set up with a text to give, you may still do that. And then we also still have, where's Diana? Can you just kind of talk about what we still have the other thing that we used to have? Or help me along, the text to give?
Is still in place. Yeah, I know it's not been presented on the screen, but it's still an option if you're already set up that way. If you don't have Venmo, then we just need to maybe consider putting that information back on the screen for those that don't have a Venmo account and do want to use the text to give option because it's still in place.
Thank you. I don't know if that made sense, but if you have any questions, you can see Diana after, and she'll explain how to do that. It's very easy. You can also give online through our website at unityontheLakeshore.org/donations. For those watching, the link is in the chat. You can also mail a check to Unity on the Lakeshore, P.O. Box 848, Douglas, Michigan, 49406. And we'll now have more music.
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where must I share today, sweet Spirit? Where must I share today, oh Lord? Speak in ways I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
If you're in need of support, there are a few ways that you can receive that. First, you can email us at unitylakeshore@gmail.com. You can also phone the office at 269-857-8226. And there's always the Unity Silent Prayer Line that's 24/7 at 816-969-2000. I just wanted to mention that I just got back from Unity Village and had the opportunity to go into the Unity Silent Prayer Chapel. That is just amazing. And I think it's over for like 150 years. They've kept this prayer going just throughout. Even when they moved buildings, they set it up in a way that they could pray right over to their new place, which was really, really cool. I was out there for a conference. It's the Affiliated New Thought Network, which is amazing. It's just so wonderful to be in a place where there's like-minded people just living and growing. And it's a conference that's held every year in October. And so there's workshops and speakers, and the music's amazing. I don't know if anybody knows Ricky Byers. She's a former wife of Michael Beckwith, and she's going to be doing the music next year. So if you have on Unity Village on your bucket list, you might want to think about doing it. So I'll be going as well. So anyway, that's that. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do so. You can learn about all the things that are happening here at Unity. You can find us at facebook.com/Unity Lakeshore. There's a new book study that started October 1st and runs through November 26th. It's on Tuesdays at 11:30. The book is Every Word Has Power by Yvonne Oswald, and it's conducted by Ruth Zwald. Okay, folks, join us November 1st for our euchre night. If you haven't played, come on out anyway. We'll help you along, and bring a snack to share and your favorite beverage. We'll start playing at 7, so come a bit early and help us get ready. Are there any first-time guests with us today? I think everybody's, we do have a new guest. Welcome, we're so glad to have you here. Are there any other announcements from the community?
I wanted to thank Sharon and Roger for bringing this beautiful mom today.
And for those online, we just had mentioned that Sharon and Roger brought this beautiful mum. I noticed it too, it's lovely. If you'd like to make a suggestion, we have a little box over to my left, and you can, if you have a question or a suggestion for our service, please feel free to leave that. And we're going to welcome Ruth back to talk about an event on November 2nd.
On the 1st and on the 2nd, you can come back. I'm going to be offering here, I I won a poetry award, which is just really fun. Thank you. So they published my poetry book, and so I'm doing a reading in Holland and one here, along with the other woman who won for creative nonfiction. So you're just welcome to join us. It's on that Saturday afternoon, I think at 4, and it'll just be an hour, but Jack Riddle will be here with us too, and kind of have a little discussion in addition to the reading. So would love to have you there, or if you know somebody who likes words, invite them to come along. It'll just be a lovely kind of event. We kind of did it over the All Saints Day, Day of the Dead weekend, because my poems deal a lot with ancestors, and the person reading with me, Melissa, hers deal a lot with issues around grief and our bodies. So it's just going to be a wonderful, uplifting time to be thinking about all those things. So hope you can join us.
And now it's our time for our closing song, Blessed Always, and please feel free to stand or stay seated.
Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, for the grace of God will guide us. Let our faith be so abundant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. What can you say for me? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.